Have you ever watched that Dave Chappelle episode where that guy is like, holla, 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 holla.
Let me holla.
Let me holla. Let me holla. That's the creepiest smile ever.
But it's like it's equivalent to the last call for alcohol at the club. So when you say like when you're at the club and they say, all right, bar's about to close in like 30 minutes and stuff, and the club's about to close in whatever time's about to close in, and then that's when the dude's like, all right, it's our time. Meow, meow, meow.
Yes. Holla, holla, holla. 2 days till Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And what is Valentine's Day about?
It's about whatever you want it to be about, in my opinion.
What's the marketing about what we're supposed to express to each other?
Marketing is marketing.
No, I meant like for people who celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What is it about? Like, what do people express for each other? So Valentine.
I like Allison's response.
Hey.
Right.
That's a physical expression. Even that, like, just like, what do we express?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you.
What?
What do we express for each other? We showcase what? What's the marketing for Valentine's Day? You're supposed to showcase what?
Okay, wait. I'm trying to get a grasp on the question that you're asking, because what you're asking assumes that I do follow the marketing.
What's Valentine's Day for you?
I mean, it's just an opportunity to celebrate.
Celebrate what?
Whatever I feel like celebrating at the moment.
What is the normal stigma for Valentine's Day?
For two people to express their love.
Thank you. I've been waiting for that, because the question is,
what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Why are we doing this?
What is love?
hey. Get it, oh, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
All right, before
there we go.
We get censored.
Yeah.
By the copyright peoples.
Do you know how hard that was? I'm like, just say what is love so I can go into this thing of what is love. I was like, come on, you can do this. Like, what is Valentine's? It is all these different things that matter to me.
That's because I can feel when there's an answer that you want me to give, as opposed to me just expressing myself. If it was natural, it would have just come out, but there was an expectation there. Ethan says, now we're talking.
Yeah.
All right, we got our first question, and this is a good one.
Yeah.
Do you want to hop right into it, my friend?
Yeah. Well, before hopping into it, let's talk about the context of what we wanted to talk about, and of course, want to hear it from you too. Mm-hmm. And it's on the theme of conscious relationship.
Right. We're going to describe the cracker before we put the cheese on it.
Describe the cracker before putting the cheese on it. I like that. But I felt called for doing this, one, because of how Valentine's Day, is it Valentine or Valentine? I don't freaking know.
It's like apostrophe S, Valentine's. What gets me is when people say Valentine's, and I'm like, where's the M? It's an N.
But it's like remote.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that.
Salmon and salmon.
I mean, I give that person a pass.
You know, it's funny because I looked up, or not looked up, it popped up like the pettiest thing people just like stop talking to somebody over. And the person said it's because they pronounced the L in salmon. So,
Wait, can I call you out for pronouncing the B in debt?
there you go. You just did. It's like, oh, we're live on social media. When can I call you out on something? It's like, it seems like the moment is right now for being able to do that.
Well, you said we were sharing this episode.
I know.
Okay.
At least you didn't talk about how I fart in my sleep a lot. Oh, just said it.
I do too.
She does. It goes like. It's like a grenade. It's like the thing that reminds me in the movies when they let off those weapons. What is it, like the smoke bombs or something? Like when you take the thing, the pen out of the smoke bomb, so it opens up and it goes like.
Allison says TMI. But this is the sharing. This is what we're getting to.
Yeah.
This could be triggering for some people if their partner talked about how they fart in their sleep. But guess what?
We're taking it there. And also like this is needed, and that's why I felt like having this conversation. So that way, one, we're gonna collectively expand together.
Mm-hmm.
And also in this expansion, and that's my intention of this conversation, we're gonna help to relieve some illusions that may be towards relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like what people deem that relationships may be from external information that says how a relationship's supposed to be, or how people are supposed to show up, how it's supposed to be one way and this way and come together and this type of thing. And that's the theme of this. It's called conscious relationship, because conscious relationship for me means how are you presently in relation to what is consciously, meaning of course right now is you and I together, we have a conscious co-creation relationship together. But even taking a step back, like, and that's my theme, my number one relationship with myself. And the way that I show up for myself in my relationship is the way I show up in a relationship for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an illusion that these other relationships dictate how my internal relationship is. And it's because, and I see it, it's pumped so much in that type of way. These external relationships are way more important than this internal relationship. But what happens in life is life just reflects how your internal relationship is going. It's just that we have this illusion that this external thing is affecting my internal relationship. Mm-hmm. And it's totally fine for doing that. I've been there. I've been in journeys for doing that, and been in relationships in which I put that power on this external relationship, external situation as the form of the reason why I am the way that I am. And what happened for me is the shift of stepping into I am the way that I am, and these other things are just showing me the way that I am.
Mm-hmm. So as long as you're putting your focus on the external, it actually is the cause for what's going on for you internally. But because it's not the actual cause, it just keeps you in a loop.
I like that. That's a great summary. And definitely want to hear what you think about it. Conscious relationship.
Conscious relationship. I think that you were talking a while ago about, like how like Jesus or I think it was one of the master's teachers, how they reflect on things that happen. And I think that like someone was like almost murdered by someone else. And then someone like asked them about it, like, oh, this guy tried to murder you. And they were just like, oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's another moment, and just like letting go of that.
Yeah. In that story, to bring context to it, it wasn't a murder, but it was a story with Buddha when it said that a friend or somebody who was devoted to the teachings of Buddha, they brought a friend, and their friend was just like, oh, this person he think he's all high and mighty. So pretty much looking at him in that type of context, oh, he's all high and mighty and all this other stuff like that. He ain't nothing or whatever.
Mhm.
Oh, I can prove that he's not nothing. So he walked up to Buddha, and he spit on him. But Buddha didn't react or anything for the spit happening, but Buddha's following reacted to this guy and pretty much like, yeah, they got him out of there.
Mhm.
But what happened was during that night, the guy was reflecting on that moment because Buddha didn't respond. And also Buddha didn't respond to him the way that he was expecting him to respond.
Mhm.
He was thinking like, oh, if I do this, this person is going to get upset or this person is going to react this way. I'm expecting this person to react this way for me doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And it didn't happen that way. So he's like, oh, wow. He did like, why did he react this way? But then he just sat there and then he came to reflection and just realized that like Buddha is what he says is like, or what people like explain how he is, how they experience him and stuff. And he pretty much got to see it. So he felt so horribly that he spit on a man that like people raved about and stuff like that. And also because he was jealous or whatever. So he also just wanted to try to prove a point. And what happened the next day is he felt so bad with the guilt and shame and all this other stuff. So then he showed up to him like, oh my God, I'm sorry, or whatever. I apologize. I didn't mean to do this to you yesterday. I didn't mean to spit on yourself. And then Buddha's like, what happened? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, what do you mean? What about yesterday?
Mhm.
It just showed like just how present he is in the moment and how he's able to just let go of everything that happened
Mhm.
before and fully be present in the moment as a new moment, being a new being in a new moment and continuing the process of that. And that's a perfect segue
Mhm.
for a conscious relationship.
Well, yes. Also because you were asking me what my perspective was, and that was part of it.
Yeah.
And that is that I like to be really present as well, which means that each day I give myself permission to evolve, and I also give my partner the awareness that I understand that he's evolving too. And what I've been experiencing lately is just like the many different facets in which I can continue to let go of this reality. And that includes in my relationship. So if I can let go of how Dell was yesterday, then I make room for him to be how he is today. And I caught myself today too. I did, which was really good. Got it. I'm just making sure you're not in a rush.
Rush for what?
So today, oh, exactly. Perfect segue. So there was an incident a while ago. Well, there are a few that I recall, and whatever, I'll share one of them. One of them is that when we get ready to go live for the podcast, right? Dell is like, it's time. We gotta go now, and I'm like, but wait, we can just do the 5-minute countdown now. He's like, no, we need to go live when we say that we're gonna go live, right? So Dell tends to be very punctual, and he's made that known previously in our relationship. So what happened today is that I had made an appointment for Dell to have a special service done.
Not that type of special service, guys. Let's keep it PG-13 for people out there.
Well, I made an appointment for Dell to be in a float tank. So there we go. And so today he decided that he didn't want to do it today for whatever reason that he decided. And I caught myself holding space for how I had perceived Dell would have reacted in the past about like appointments, since he's like so punctual and like, wanting to make sure that things are done on time, and we were going to cancel really late. I felt myself holding space for that version of Dell. And I got myself into this place of awareness, like, remember, you're letting go. And Dell is not the same Dell that he was that day. So I just had that like reminder for myself today that, that's what I'm doing. I'm letting myself be who I am in the moment, and I'm letting others who I interact with be who they are in the moment, and not like hold them to who they used to be. So that to me is part of my conscious relating.
I love that. And of course, like the nitty gritty, and that's great awareness of doing that. And I'm sure there's moments in which, and I can raise my hand, and I'm pretty sure whoever will be live will raise their hand as well, of moments of responding to a person in the relationship as the same person from an experience from yesterday or a moment before. And I said, like, even a moment in which the person brought up some emotions out of you and you're upset about that and carrying on that energy moving forward from just that one moment that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And even thinking about it from previous relationships and previous things in life and bringing those things with you unconsciously into present relationships.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
I raised my hand for that because that's what I was talking about too, for our conscious relationship, being or stepping into a place of having this conscious relationship. There was times where we had unconscious relationships in which we were stepping into the process of getting to this, in which we did do things unconsciously, bringing stuff from yesterday or bringing stuff from past previous relationships. Like I said, I raised my hand. I brought previous relationships or previous wounds that I haven't dealt with in my previous relationships into my new relationship, in which what these expectations that I had for a new relationship is I expected to have a relationship in which, and this is just me speaking from the story that I had, I just didn't know I had the story. I had an expectation to step into a relationship in which I didn't have to
Thanks, Allison.
go into these wounds that I still haven't healed yet. I want to be able to be in a relationship in which I don't have to deal with my shit stuff.
You want to give an example?
Yeah. So let's talk about insecurities. So I had experience in previous relationships and even just interaction wise and just life relationship wise, not even just a platonic relationship, but just relationships with everyone and environment wise, in which I started to integrate insecurities, not having full confidence in myself, losing my confidence in myself, not feeling worthy from experiencing relationships in which I got cheated on, experiences in relationships where I have cheated, experiences in relationship in which somebody left me for another person, experience relationships in which a person was talking to people of the opposite sex and say, "Oh, it's just friends." I said, "All right, cool," but then find out that it wasn't friends. It was synchronicity that I found the text or found that meme where it said, "Bro, don't look into your girl's phone." And then the person, I looked into my girl's phone, and like for a week straight, I was listening to Mary J. Blige and drinking some whiskey. And
Ice cream.
For me, yeah, for me intuitively in a previous relationship, I felt the need like, "Yo, just check the phone out." So I was like, I checked the phone out and I found out, like, whoa. And that was like, wait a second. I had the insecurities in me. So in my next couple relationships that was happening, even this relationship in the beginning, I would say like, okay, my girl can't talk to another man or have any type of relationship or friendship or any type of stuff relationship because I'm afraid of something happening again. So for me being afraid of not even going there to heal that part of me, I'm just going to be controlling and I'm going to be upset. And if something happens in this way, I'm going to have a temper tantrum and like, because in my mind, like, this thing is happening again. This thing's going to happen again. This thing's going to happen again. This thing's going to happen again. And those insecurities, it didn't have to do anything with the relationships that I had. It didn't even have to do anything with the relationship that I was in now. The insecurity was just me being insecure and going back to like childhood stuff from where my insecurity stemmed from and to heal that. I had to heal the boy so I could integrate the man that I wanted to be in the present moment.
That's really interesting. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So that's the thing I also want to get in context with people too, in terms of like building a conscious relationship, the one that we have. There is stuff that you need to work on. But what happens is in the process you're already doing it. It's just that we do it and we don't know we're doing it. We get upset at the partner for whatever may happen. I mean, there's some things that if you get upset about, you may need like to address them type of stuff. But with these upsetness, eventually comes to a point when you just start to become aware. I used to think before, like, oh, it's all this person's fault, the partner. I can't do no wrong. I'm good. I am really good. I can't do no wrong. Until finally, I would just had that context, taking a look like, how am I showing up? How do I show up in a relationship? Before that, and you can attest to it, and feel free to share. Like in our relationship, before, like our relationship initially started, like you and I, we came with baggage of pain and traumas and stuff from not only just for the previous relationship, but just life. But we brought it and like, hey, this is all we have right here. Let's play. Hey, oh boy, it was a play. It was a
yeah, expansive journey. And that's the part where it's like a person could easily run away from that, or they could take it head on, or they could take it on as much as they can in the moment.
Yeah. And that's like the one thing that we all have done before. When things get like that, you want to run away and feel like, oh, by running away, I don't have to deal with this. But then it's like you run away and it gets more intense. The universe is like, hey, I'm everywhere. Where do you think you're going? So it's like, even like it just reminds me too, just people I talk with, it's like, oh, I just keep dealing with the same situations, relationships over and over and over again. Like the same thing just keeps happening. And like for me in my mind, as I can't tell them, like, but it's like if something keeps happening to me over and over again, to me, it's the universe trying to let you know, like, hey, there's something that you need to sit with yourself. But it's an illusion, like, oh, it's this person, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this.
Yeah.
But that's the even interesting thing to talk about, like going to like unconscious relationships and stuff too, because like the dogma now as well is like just like this list and criteria of all these things to want in a man and want in a relation, or a woman or want in a relationship. I want this person to do this type of thing. And it's great to have that. But like the one thing is like, and I said the question is like, what inner work are you doing right now for your own stuff? And there's a lot of stuff out there. Like I want the person, my partner down with, to have all these things, but I'm still going to bring my stuff. And I want you to accept me for what I am. Accept me for who I am. And it's like, how come you can't accept that other person for who they are and what they're dealing with? But like just like some foundational stuff. And like for me, for back to conscious relationships, it's like the main criteria is like, are you doing your inner work? So that way we can like integrate together and expand together, and we don't have to deal with like, I mean, we couldn't deal with it as well. I can hold space for it, but like also like we have the space that you can be able to deal with yourself, because I'm doing my own inner work and integrating. So that way I don't bring this in here. We can really just be present and expand.
Yeah. So Allison asks, how do you keep the fire alive or fire going? For me, it's being present.
Yeah.
The relationship feels it feels timeless to me. Like I don't feel like we've known each other for so long, because I continue to get to know Del every day. I continue to get to know myself every day. So it always feels fresh to me. And that's just how I feel.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing too, the fire. I wish I could just give like a specific answer, like do this or do that. It's like you said, the presence, being present with your partner, because, and I could attest for myself, things that was spark me before, or like get me quote unquote turned on and stuff, it doesn't do the same anymore than it would now, because I'm evolving in every moment. But it's like having that conscious conversation with your partner in the moment, like authentically, like, yo, what kind of things turn you on? What kind of things get you started?
Yeah. And even in the moment, you know, they can be different from another moment.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing too, of thinking that what I did for my partner before is going to be the same thing that's going to work for them in the moment.
Right.
So like I guess the love language, they say like the love language thing
Mm-hmm.
is interesting. I took a look at that, the love language. I'm like, I am everything. It
Mm-hmm.
just depends on what's going on in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
One moment I might like a gift. One moment maybe I like to be held. One moment maybe I like insurance. I don't like it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's me. I am a chameleon. I adapt and all these different stuff. But like that's something that don't see that's really out there for like having these conversation with partners like that, because like you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this. But it's like you're infinite, and infinite means everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the way of debunking it is just having a present conversation with the person in the moment. Like, what do you need right now?
Mm-hmm.
It may be a hug, it might be some ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh my God, this person's upset. Let me go buy him a gift.
Ice cream.
And then you buy a gift and all they really want is like, it's gonna be okay. Like, I don't want a freaking gift.
Right.
But I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be kind of like, I'd be kind of cautious if someone said that they knew everything about me, because that means that I'm not expanding.
And that's another thing too, of a quote out there that I see
Mm-hmm.
when they say, the way that you keep somebody is you do the same things that you did when you first began a relationship. And I'm like, okay.
I think that's the perfect way to kill a relationship.
Devil's advocate time. What if somebody is consciously expanding to the deeper awareness of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and like I said, stuff that they liked before or stuff that they were doing before is a different thing? Or even the person that you're doing it for, what if they change since they started doing it? They like different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and like different stuff moving forward or stuff. So like doing the same stuff is like, how can you do the same stuff when you're constantly evolving?
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's some like foundational things, like some core foundational stuff that you love to experience in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, okay, this is a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is a relationship that's in alignment for what I am or I'm at right now.
Or a great aspect of the relationship.
Yeah.
Or simply just something that makes me feel good or has me feeling good in the moment.
Yeah. See, like those type of, I like those things, like the vague type of, the essence,
Mm-hmm.
compared to specific things.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was thinking, I'm just trying to get an example.
Well, if I were to think about something that's consistent from when we first met, I still like to go on dates. I just like dates. I just like it. That's all. So that's something that that has not changed.
And one thing that hasn't changed about me is I am a homebody. I like to be present. I like this, but it's different because like before, the like being home is like I would be home and I'll be playing my Madden or things like that and not really be present. And then like after my Madden game, if I lose, I'll be upset the rest of the day. But of course, like now, if I lose the Madden game, I'm upset for the moment, and then I move forward and can be present and stuff like that. So like those type of stuff don't change, but there are things that do change, like what I need, what I feel like I needed in a relationship before compared to what I need in a relationship in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And of course now it's like I don't need anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just be. Things just take care of yourself because I'm taking care of myself. But of course, like the illusion that I had before was this person completes me. With this person, I am nothing. I am nothing without this person. I gotta do whatever I need to do to make this work. I gotta sacrifice my own happiness and everything else because that's what you gotta do in a relationship. I'm trying to think what else. I gotta make sure I'm pleasing this person to the best of my abilities, or even when I'm upset, it's this person's fault. It's your fault that I'm upset. You did this. It's you. You made me upset. You are hurting my self-esteem.
Who said that about
Cat
self-esteem?
Williams. That's why I said it. Because he's like, involves yourself. But it's so true. It's so true. We can really laugh at that because like we can say like this person may have done something that brought up some upsetness or some whatever emotion it is out of us, but it's us. It's already there. The person just helped us to, our partner helped us to see exactly what is happening within us.
Mhm.
And that's what I said. Like the exercise that is saying, like, I'm mad at you. Like, I'm mad. I'm mad right now.
That's why they call it Madden.
Actually, it's so funny. Now I think about that. I remember one time doing a psychedelic of seeing that, and I was like, Madden. Madden? I don't know. It's like one of those things. Like, I don't know. I just remember seeing that, like Madden.
That is one of the best marketing tools I have ever seen in my life. You know, how we talk about like, oh, men need to be more emotionally expressed. And then there's this thing that just like turns on their emotions like that. It's like, you know how they talk about like social media gives you like a hit of dopamine? Well, Madden gives men a hit of adrenaline like nothing that I've ever seen before. Like they've engineered something that is quite remarkable.
But I say in sports games or sports in general too, like when you're passionate, that passionate energy, and that just shows also relationships, the passion with it. So something, oh come on, that type of stuff.
Maybe that's why some people are addicted to abusive relationships.
Talk more. Are we going to go there?
I guess we're going there.
Let's go.
To have that like that rush, you know, that adrenaline rush or that emotional rush, like to feel alive in the moment. Some people get addicted to that, whatever it is, whether it's thrill seeking, like jumping out of a plane, or whether it's doing stuff in public that's illegal. All of those things are like really affect us biochemically. So that's
Dopamine.
what dopamine, adrenaline, epinephrine, all of those chemicals. What was the other one? Oh, I don't remember what the other one is, but all of those chemicals like rush through a person's body, and that's like the biochemical bliss, you know, that people feel. It doesn't matter what it is. Anger is bliss, love is bliss. Any extreme emotion is the same in your body. You're actually just choosing what it is that you want to call it. It's literally just an electrical impulse. So biochemically, people get wired to, oh, things are getting boring. Let me stir up some drama so I can get that rush of adrenaline. And that's what happens.
Yeah, that's so true. I need to get a stimulate my life. And who said that? Oh, Eckhart Tolle. Talk about the pain body, and which out of nowhere, and that's doing those unconscious stuff that when the pain body takes over, because the pain body needs a feed. That pain body needs a feed. So then, okay, let me start this argument. Let me do this because that pain body is feeding off that energy of that, and it helps to keep the story going with it. But then, of course, like if the person with a pain body comes at you and you just stay neutral with it, it goes away, type of thing. But that's like the core factor, especially in those type of relationships when two pain bodies are just going at it. Like my boy, Chaos.
That was a funny movie. But yeah, to understand, you know, the biochemical part of, you know, emotional being is important. It's part of being conscious, right? And so that way you can have the awareness of what's going on and you can make a choice, a conscious choice, not a subconscious choice.
Yeah. And then that's the deeper aspect of it, is once you bring that awareness to it, so awareness to how you're being and what you're doing, then you realize it's a choice.
Yes.
You're choosing to react this certain way, especially with relationships. When let's say like an argument happened or whatever is happening, and what usually happens is like we have that reflection after the argument, even if you're not really on this type of path, but like we sit there, oh wow, like yeah, we really say some bad stuff to each other or some hurtful things. And usually what happens, oh, I said some hurtful stuff or something happened. Let me try to do something to make up for it. Let's have makeup sex. Let's go out to eat. Let's have this dinner. Let's watch TV. But like there's still this lingering energy of
Right.
what just happened.
So, like, lingering energy is not just a woo-woo term. So, like I studied kinesiology and physiology back when I was a personal trainer. And, like, literally that electricity from the emotion that you just generated still has your neural system charged. So when they say something is charged, that means that that electricity is just still in there because your body is a circuit. So usually when you allow yourself the time to like calm down completely into a rest state, you've allowed that electricity to leave the system. But as long as it's in there, you're just recycling that same energy and translating into the next thing that you do. So you can go into like a calm state, you could go meditate, you could go for a walk, you can go like do all of these other things, and that'll work that particular charge out of your body so that you can have a reset circuit and make some new choices. That's why, like once we calm down, things look a little bit different because we literally are looking through different eyes, a different perspective, a different circuit when we're in the situation after we've calmed down.
Yeah. But even like, because like moving forward, it's like, what usually the universe does is it gives you a test to make sure that you learned your lesson from it.
Mm-hmm.
So even like taking that to another level is like, okay, this next thing is happening now, and it's bringing up this anger or whatever it's bringing up in me, and it's so easy to just like that. Oh, I'm experiencing this. This thing is happening with me. What they're saying is upsetting me,
Mm-hmm.
or it's upsetting. And that meditation and reflection, like you say, you're talking about, is allows you to fully feel that in that way, but then two, to find out what part of you really got upset about that.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that a lot of times, and Fial was here on the live stream, she would talk about this too. We learned that a lot of the responses occur in a triangle, and they call it the drama triangle. Either a person is a persecutor, a victim, or a rescuer.
Mm.
And if they identify that one of those three aspects of themselves is the one that's reacting, then they're always going to stay within this triangle. Because the victim wants to be rescued by the rescuer, and the persecutor is always the one that's being blamed by the victim, and so on and so forth. It just keeps going around in a triangle. But if you can make a choice that's outside of that triangle, like, for instance, be the embodiment of peace in that moment.
Observer.
For instance, be the observer. Then these things allow us to be out of that reactionary chain and to make like a completely independent choice, not one that's based on a role that has an expectation of what it's going to do.
I like that. You said persecutor, victim, and then what was the other one?
Rescuer.
The rescuer. So rescuer, what was that, like Captain Save-A-Ho?
Sure. Superhero.
Or a rescuer. Is a rescuer like this person is being this or being either the persecutor or victim, and for me, I gotta rescue them from being a persecutor or a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so funny because I remember, like I would always be that, or be on both sides of that. The rescuer,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like somebody would just be in that victim mentality and like, oh my god, like you're so like this, you're annoying, or you're doing this or whatever. And like, oh my god, you're so upset right now. What can I do to help you? Let me help you. Let me be here for you. Like a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like a puppy type of thing. But even the persecutor was just blaming, like, sure, for this or whatever it is. And like, or vice versa, trying to rescue them from that. But even the victim, I've been on the side of being a victim or feeling like a victim for situations. It's like, oh my God, how could they do this to me? How could they cheat on me? How could they do this? How could they do that? And then, like, of course, now it's like, I just wasn't their flavor. It's totally fine.
Well, also, one of the things about the victim role that was shared in this education that I learned about these things
Yeah.
is that the victim actually doesn't want to be helped.
Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Don't save them.
So the
They don't
rescuer
wanna be
saving the
saved.
victim, their role is actually obsolete. Like the whole triangle is a dysfunctional triangle. It doesn't even work. But these roles are taken on just because it's the way that people are wired.
I got a question though, and I want you to elaborate more on this.
Yes.
So you said victims don't want to be saved, but what if somebody's being a victim? They don't know they're being a victim because they're just being that way, feeling like their life. Also, with the how people can share like a sad story or whatever, or perceived sad story, sharing their side of what's happening in situations, whatever situation, maybe relationships or just life, sharing their part, and you never really get to hear the other person's part or the full on thing of what really, or the full on truth of what's happening. But like, we're only seeing it from the eyes of being a victim type of thing, but also to get support from other people who are in that victim role. So it's, oh, it's right. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah, you should do it this way. And reason saying that, it's sort of like,
I have a feeling that I'm not going to get to answer this question.
Yeah. No. You're gonna go there. No, you don't get to go there. I was going to give another context of it. It's like, for example, person A get in an argument with person B. Person B also gets an argument with person A. Person A and person B, they both have done something, and like whatever they have done to like start this debate, what's happening. Well, what one of those people do is like partner A goes to whoever, go to a person who only is going to hear about person's A or the person A's side of stuff, and person A feels like a victim for what is happening in the situation. So they go with that energy, and this person validates the victimhood. So, with that said, it's like, how could, like, people don't want to be saved, but what if this person was going to, like, they felt like this is the right thing to do, to express what's going on in this relationship, but also they're like, oh wait, this person, I can't talk to my partner because this person I'm at war with. I want to go talk to somebody to potentially get some advice, get some help for what's happening. But the person you get help from validates the victimhood and like, you should do this or whatever it is. You're right, but they don't get to hear a person's B side of things. So that's why I want to ask the question: what if that happens?
What's the question? What's the actual question?
Could somebody be a victim, or can somebody be that victim and want to be saved, but they just are getting their victimhood validated and they can't really get saved?
I think you just answered your own question.
How?
You just answered it right there.
Tell me.
What the person is doing, they're getting validation.
Validation for the victimhood?
Or whatever it is that they're going through. A lot of times people just want to be validated. Maybe they don't have an actual like opportunity to express themselves. There's always a payoff for whatever a person is doing, whatever behavior it is, whether you consider it positive or negative, but there's always a payoff. And the payoff could be that they want to be validated. They want to be heard.
Heard as a victim?
That is the name of a role. It's not actually what the person is being. It's just a name for a role. And we could call them a criminal. We could call them anything. It doesn't really matter. But what they're doing is they're acting out this particular archetype in order to receive some kind of payoff that they're not getting otherwise.
Go more.
So, like, if I get to play video games all the time when I'm at my mom's house, I'm going to want to go to my mom's house because that's the payoff. And if I don't get to do that at my aunt's house, then I'm gonna probably find a way to get myself over to my mom's house.
So all this relates to like a victim
The victim
relationship.
in your particular example was looking for validation.
Validation that how they felt was right
No,
to
no,
feel.
no. We're going the Dell method.
Uh
There's no validation for. They were just looking for validation.
oh. And that's another situation, or no, another situation, another topic to go more into, and with the conscious relationships type of thing. Because for me, a conscious relationship means that every single relationship is own expression of a conscious relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, or with that said, is like the conscious relationship between two present beings is like it's your relationship, your collective bubble for your relationship, and you guys are co-creating together, you're expanding together. And what happens, and I've seen it and I've been a part of that, is when two people who are in a relationship, when one person tries to get advice from the relationship, from like that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the situations that are going on in the relationship, you go discuss it with somebody who, like, I deem is like not like a neutral person.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like you talk to your therapist about it, or you talk to a life coach, or somebody like that, somebody who's neutral about the situation,
Mm-hmm.
to allow you to really just talk, vent out what's happening, but also allow you the space to start to work through it, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know where I was going with that. I went on a nice little tangent, but so that's what I was saying about the relationship, stepping out of stepping out of your relationship, or what's happening in your relationship, to get advice from somebody else
Mm-hmm.
who's not a neutral person. Just how potentially damaging that could be
Mm-hmm.
for the relationship, because whoever this person may be, obviously you're speaking to somebody that you feel you can, they're trustworthy, or they're knowledgeable, they can give you an advice.
Mm-hmm.
And it could potentially be really damaging if this person give you an advice for something to do,
Mm-hmm.
if it's not like something to potentially do from a neutral standpoint. So doing something from being in your emotions about what's just happened,
Mm-hmm.
compared to having a conversation about it, integrating yourself, being with yourself, and then making a decision when you're no longer at the conflict, not only with the partner, you have a conflict with yourself.
Right. Yeah. So if you had something going on and you went to your doctor about it, and they're like, take an Advil and take a nap, and you're like, something's wrong, going to another doctor for a second opinion might make your primary care physician feel some kind of way.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Go more with this analogy. This is a good analogy.
People have like illnesses. They're like, something is wrong with me. And that, I think, is a lot of the root of what can be going on in that situation. When it comes to like the victim role, it's like there's something wrong with me, and I need to figure out what that is. And that can be one avenue for validation, because in the end, if it's like, yeah, you're not skinny enough, you're not smart enough, then that fixes the whole thing. Then it's like, oh, okay, I just need to be skinny enough or smart enough. But it's not that easy. What the realization could be is that it could be that the source for validation is just not external, and that they're going in a loop about where that validation actually comes from.
Yeah. It seems like that could potentially be the reasons for a lot of the infidelities and stuff out in the relationship, like that validation thing, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, my partner is not giving me that validation that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's sort of, and I was just having a conversation with somebody about this before. It's like, when you rely on something external, obviously this is the example of the validation from from your partner, this external thing,
Mhm.
and if this person's not giving you the validation, there is a potential avenue to like I need this validation externally and start getting it like drugs.
Well, I mean, people are looking for answers. People want answers, which is why I really feel like Kevin Samuels is so popular right now because people go to him, they want to know what's wrong with them, and he gives them an answer. It's not like that in itself is healing because, like, so many people want answers, but they can't get them from people. Like they may even, like, talk to whomever, someone that they confide in, and they're like, "Nah, nothing's wrong with you. You're
Uh-huh.
good," and it's like, well, there's something going on in my situation, so they're looking for the answers. And Kevin Samuel's like, well, this is your situation, and this is what some men may think.
I like what he says though, and it's so true. The way that he does it is like, okay, what do you want? What are you bringing? No, what are you bringing? And the way he does it, he's like, okay, you're looking for the men who are my clients, and for me talking to these guys who are my clients, here's what they say they want, and what do you bring? And are you willing to bring the stuff that they're looking for? These type of men or what are the men that he say are the clients, and a lot of them say like no, or this person needs a shift or whatever like this. But it's like this man built his thing, or in the story, the man built up like that. So like he has a right to like know what he wants and like to stick with that. And if you don't match what he wants, then it's perfectly fine for him to say like, yo, I don't want you. But also like on the other spectrum, females have that same option. But the thing about it, and that's like the clearest thing too, and that's why I like loves to reiterate to people out there who are looking for relationships, getting like really crystal clear on what do you want
Mm-hmm.
to have as a partner. But also like this is a perfect example of building a conscious relationship is like I really didn't have any expectation when we first got a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When we first got a relationship too, I wasn't even looking for a relationship. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna get into it. I wasn't even like what's it called fully in yet into the relationship. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this relationship. Like we've been talking for a couple months or so, and
We met on Tinder, by the way.
yeah. So for people out there who's saying the online dating thing is is whatever from based upon other experiences, we met on Tinder. So yeah. But even like in that aspect, I wasn't even looking to date. And also at that time, I can say like I didn't know what I wanted to have a relationship. I never knew the whole process of relationship, what I really wanted. I just got with somebody for the most part. Oh, this person was good. We click. This is all right, cool. Let's see what happens. And a couple of times I got relationships out of guilt as well. Like going into a relationship feeling guilty for like because having a platonic relationship, I'm having fun. But then this conscious part of me is like, oh man, like I don't want to waste this person's time like that because I don't want my time wasted. And so let's get a relationship and let's see what happens. And then of course, like it's so funny how like when you're talking to somebody without the relationship title, it's like it's just a casual conversation, getting to know each other, and like it's pretty fun. But as soon as that relationship comes in, it's like the universe says, all right, let's reveal the veil. And like all this triggerings and all this emotional stuff starts to happen.
Right, and the veil isn't really about the other person, is it?
No.
Never.
It's never about the other person. I mean, the person may be doing stuff that's bringing stuff in you. And of course, if this person's doing stuff on that extreme level, like hitting you or whatever it is, then it's like this person is hitting you. You can't say, oh, I'm hitting myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like those type of decisions like that, like get punched in the face by somebody. It's this person intently bringing out their pain on you in that form.
Mm-hmm.
The intent with it. And it's like, what you do after that, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's those type of stuff, those variables we can't control of like how our partner reacts in a firm, of like how they express their pain and their emotions.
Hmm.
But what we can control is what we allow, and also how we're going to process what is being done to us and things like that. And been on the side of the equation, I've been in relationships in which I was verbally abusive. I've been in relationships when I was verbally abused. I've been in one relationship a while back in which I pushed her.
Mm.
So like there's ways for me to process, or ways I was processing emotions in those type of ways. But for me, it took me like really going in therapy with good therapists. I had some ain't shit therapists, and but they still helped me in the process. It was doing psychedelics, it's having a life coach. It was really starting to really do that introspective work
Hmm.
to like find out why I am the way that I am and show up in a relationship. But like I said, it all started when I had that curious question for myself: is how am I showing up in the relationship? From and pretty much saying as how am I showing up in this relationship from a different perspective than what I'm seeing with my own perspective.
Hmm.
And even this ownership, hey, maybe I was an asshole. I could be perceived as asshole the way I handled that.
Hmm. Got it. So I'll share this in closing, just to summarize similarly about what I've experienced. And what I experienced is that like the way that I went into a relationship is that I knew that I was great material. Like I was very confident that I could be who it is that I needed to be in a relationship.
I got a PhD.
The only thing is that what I realized in the relationships that I was in is that I would get to a point where I could where I perceived that the other person was in a relationship with me, but with the me that they were imagining. Like it wasn't actually me. And I'm like, like who are you actually like, talking to? Like it would be expressed in things like, oh, I'm doing this for you because you like this. And it's like, I never said that I like that. And it's like,
Oh, please share this. Share this example. I gotta hear this. Like, oh, I'm doing this for you. Like, wait, I don't like that.
or you've always wanted to do this, right? So I'm providing you with this experience. And it's like, no, that's not who I am. It's like they were dreaming up their like dream person and just like projecting it on me.
Ooh.
And I was like, I didn't feel like seen or heard. And in some instances, I actually started pretending to be that person that they were projecting on me. And then I had to be like, wait, what am I doing? So what I realized is that, I had started like letting go of my boundaries. I would give up who I was just to be who they wanted in the relationship because I knew that I could do that. Because I was so confident that I could be anyone's girlfriend, that I was like, yeah, no problem. I can pretend that I like this, and it's like that I took it too far in lots of cases. And I was usually the one to end the relationship because I'm like, I'm just tired of pretending.
Seems like that's a theme for a lot of us out there, like changing how you are to pretty much match the expectation of what somebody else has in a partner. And there's a lot of people out there, they say I lost myself in this relationship. And it's because you're not authentically being yourself. You lose yourself because you're trying to please this other person for the fear of what could potentially happen if you don't do that. And I've been there on both sides as well. And a lot of people get in relationships with like that vision of like, oh, this person, I want this person to be this or whatever. I got this expectation for this person to be this way. And of course, when this person's not living expectation, that's when the arguments are happening. You're not being this way or whatever, like whatever it may be. It's so funny. Like this when arguments happen, if you can really just be present, neutral, and just hear the argument happen, like, huh? And a couple of times I was like that, and then that's when it's the craziest thing. So like, I gotta share this example. So in one relationship I was in, we got into an argument or whatever, and in the argument, I responded back like an argument. It's like, don't yell, why you gotta yell at me? So I said, okay, all right, next time we get an argument, I'm not gonna yell. I'm gonna just be calm and chill out. So by me being calm and just chilling, I'm actually was observing this thing going on. I was like, this is very interesting, like type of thing. And it's like, why aren't you showing emotions right now? It's like, what? What? Now you want me to be angry? You don't care because you're not feeding the pain body. That's the way I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm upset right now, and you don't care because you're not upset. That's the story. Because like, oh, this person's not going down to that level of anger. I just feel guilty about that. Like when when arguments happen, and I was just like, okay,
Guilty for what exactly?
guilty for not caring about the argument happening, just being there. Like, okay. See, and then I was about, all right, seem like you're upset right now, so I'm gonna go away for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Hopefully, you cool down.
So, did you just like leave that person in an emotional state and not be there with them?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, and that's the way that it was like a theme for me. It's like when people would deal with like or be in that type of state upset, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk away now because I don't feel like dealing with this.
Pull SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I'm gonna be out though. Yeah, I just walk out, and even in a relationship, just walk out. Like, okay, you're dealing with this, and I'm going away. And then as I'm talking about it, I remember they said, oh, I would really like this for you just to be there. But like for me, I'm like, I don't feel like being with drama. But then it's now to think about it, like, oh, they just want me to hold space for them. But also it's like, wait, to think about it, oh yeah, I did do something that could upset the person. I just didn't think it could upset them because in my world it's just so little. And that's the one thing too, like something that I deem as little could be somebody's like, oh my God, how could you? Or whatever it may be. And I'm sure in a lot of relationships that happens as well. Like, well, one person deems is like not that big of a deal. For another person, it's a big fucking deal. Like leaving a towel on the floor or something like that. Like for one person, oh, I left my towel on the floor. Another person, oh my God.
That did happen the other day though.
For the love of God.
Flush the toilet. Put the thing down on the faucet. Don't get the rug wet. I get it though. I get it. Perception is big.
Oh yeah. That's all what this is. How you're relating to whatever on what perception. But it's a test for it because I am living proof. You handle the relationship with yourself first and really just set up the parameters and the stuff that you need for you to be able to work through all your experiences that you had in your childhood and other relationships and able to heal it and accept it and shift the perspective with it. It allows you to just show up differently because you're integrated, and like everything is just so much at ease. And then you get to see if somebody else is upset, especially your partner, oh, they're dealing with some things right now. It's not me. Before I was thinking, oh, did I do something? Is something that I've done or things like that? It's because like in my mind, it was a program of what was happening before of me potentially doing something or something like that. But then like now it's upset. It's like, oh, you're upset with that. What's happening? What's going on? But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't do that inner work to take care of the relationship with me first, and also to set time for building my relationship with me. Besides doing the healing process and going to there, but doing things continually
Hmm.
to this cater to that relationship with myself. Because also when I don't do that, I know I show up differently every other relationship because like, yo, I need time for myself. I gotta be myself. And I'm so and but I'm being forced to do these things and I'm just like So like say it instead of like what it said, it's not you, it's me.
Hmm.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's saying it's not you, it's me.
Hmm. Got it. Complete.
I'm good.
Hope you like our show.